So we're gonna move to our next speaker, Basile Gousssard from NetCarbon. He's gonna tell us about the power of STAC for Earth observation.
Hi everyone, thank you very much for your time, and I'm going to share the screen. Is it okay?
Yes, we can see your screen, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to try to not say exactly the same thing that during the last presentation, because you already know that STAC is it's an extremely amazing tool, and that we are using a lot at NetCarbon. Here I'm going to dive a bit more on how to use different type of satellite data based on STAC and the power of it. So at NetCarbon, we use mainly like 3 types of satellites. We are not today. Today it could be an extremely nice idea to use a lot of different type of data. Maybe F42 will be a game changer for us to implement those new type of data. But for now, we are using just 3 type of data, which is the Landsat 8, mostly for the thermal temperature, for the TIA sensor, Sentinel-2 from Copernicus, as well as PlanetScope with a large panel of satellites and this is allowing us to have the revisit that we want for different type of algorithm. But by working with different type of satellites, you are working with different, sometimes you are working with different catalog and different way to search this data. And if you want to build, like as we say, if you want to build a robust backend, if you want to have something which is like a bit agnostic, which is easily able to connect the different provider, you will need to have something which is a bit with a bit of standardization. So here, that's one thing that we are deeply involved is to still keep every time to keep STAC as one of the foundation to explore those data. And that's a bit the same with COG, honestly, because if you have a STAC catalog but the data is not stored in COG, it's extremely tricky. So mainly we will have we have the STAC, and the STAC is pointing to a COG file. So as I said, this is exactly what was the main topic here. It's to be able to connect a different type of satellites, so Landsat 8, Sentinel-2, and the planets, and to use each time STAC, because based on this, you will be able to do your processing by your own without the need to change everything on your backend side. So we have decided to use this type of data, and if the satellite provider do not have any STAC catalog for now, we do not connect to this satellite provider. So that's a very tricky choice from us, but that's a choice that is allowing us to focus on the on how we are building the solution. Maybe just to sorry, I keep the last slide. To have a very quick example, so we are still in the same area than during the tutorial. So it's Libourne, near Bordeaux, because we are a French company. We are in Bordeaux, so I will. It's easier to study something that is near from you, because you can see it in a real after. But here we have the vegetation. Mostly we have the NDVI, and the NDVI is based on the Sentinel-2 data, because we have data at 10 meters, but we can imagine exactly the same with PlanetScope at 3 meters. And based on this data, we will have the NDVI at one specific day. Thanks to STAC, we have exactly the same extractor, but just the transform is a bit different, because we can compute the land surface temperature based on the on Landsat 8. The land surface temperature will not be at the same resolution, but we have like different gap of resolution, but we can use some indexes and some grid to be able to retrieve the location. Mainly H3. It's a very good tool to do this, to use a grid. But what is very important here is that concretely the extraction is exactly the same based on the Copernicus, Sentinel-2 and Landsat 8. All this because and thanks to STAC, and the computation is done based on thanks to different COG, for example, but we can use a lot of different providers. And at the end, what you can do, and what was very tricky before, it's to do some very very small correlation. Here we took the same day, so the image, the satellite picture was taken at the same day between Sentinel-2 and Landsat 8, and we have done a small correlation, like to plot the vegetation index of the NDVI in function of the soil surface temperature to see if there is some trends between both. And that was pretty interesting for us to see this type of correlation in order to be able to study the vegetation and after to study the temperature, to do some simulation, for example, etc., etc. But the main topic here is to say that this is possible mainly based on this same connection between different satellite providers. So in the future, I just hope that everyone will go for STAC, and that we'll be able to use all this processing with all this provider easily.
But Basile, just a warning that we are coming to the end.
That's the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, and thank you for keeping the time as well. So we still have